Hello, we are on day 11 of the challenge and I'm feeling good today. I actually missed a couple of days and again, I noticed that it made me feel very bad about myself, and so I just had to get up and do the thing. Today I started with my 10 minutes at the gym, which I was dreading it because I have been away from the gym for 2 weeks because of the war situation in Bahrain. But I used the exact same script to speak to myself as I did before, where it was like, it's just 10 minutes, it's just these three exercises, I can definitely do this. So I went to the gym and I did it, and I was also very pleasantly surprised that I had the stamina still to go through the whole routine without feeling winded. And it felt good to move my body. So I was pleased that I hadn't lost the progress and pleased with myself for finishing the job. And that built on itself, where I felt like I should do the meditation as well. So I did 5 minutes of that. Again, I felt really good about that. And so here I am now recording the video. And I think you can see that there's a difference in my energy just because I showed up for myself to do these things. It's not even 11 o'clock yet, and I'm on top of things. So that's the challenge. What are we going to talk about today? I decided to go meet a friend a couple of nights ago, and some of the things I spoke to her about I feel like are worth sharing with people, so let's go. She was talking about, like, why do we chase men, especially men who are clearly not good enough, not up to the task, don't even make us feel good about ourselves. Why are we doing this? And I told her, because I recognized myself going through that pattern for a good 15 years. And now, having done the work and come out on the other side of it, I can speak very confidently about what I was going through during those 15 years. And I think it could really help people. So what it really is that when you haven't done the work, you need somebody else to witness you. That's really what we need. We just need somebody to witness us. We need to feel seen. It's the deepest need of a person, to feel acknowledged, to feel seen. And when we don't know how to do that for ourselves, we then recruit other people to do that for us. So we don't exist unless there is somebody there witnessing us and giving us that feedback on, oh, okay, you're there, I see you, you did a good job with that, and all the rest of it. So this is extremely inefficient because most people are not good at doing that for us unless they've done the work themselves. And even then, you can't put it on them. You do have to do the work, and you have to be able to do this for yourself. Because otherwise what happens is you are not being yourself. You are performing yourself for their consumption, and then they pass that experience that they're having of you through their filters, and then they feed that back to you. They witness you. And this is inefficient. There are all these layers to it, but it's also just not healthy, because you deserve to be yourself instead of performing yourself for somebody else's pleasure, for somebody else's consumption. It's the same reason why I'm doing this exercise on YouTube, is because I didn't want to perform myself. I wanted to be myself. And the only way I could do that clearly and confidently is just by practicing being myself and saying the things that I want to say without censorship, without any need for approval, without looking at the follower numbers or the likes or the subscribers or all of that stuff. Because then I wouldn't be being myself. I wouldn't be saying the things I want to say. I would be performing myself for somebody else's consumption, for their approval. And then I need them to witness me back through the comments, through the likes, through the follows, to say, I really like what you said, that was a great point, and so on and so forth, right? So how do we cure that gap? I mean, how do we solve that problem? How do we heal from this need? Is really just by becoming a sufficient witness for yourself. And it's very simple, but it's not easy, because if you think about yourself as two people, so now you are being yourself and yourself is witnessing you, that person needs to be somebody that you can respect, somebody whose authority you respect, somebody whose approval actually means something to you. Otherwise, it doesn't hold any weight. And that's the problem that we have, is that we don't have that. We don't hold that person ourselves in high regard. That's why we outsource that function to other people whom we think are better authority, whom we can respect more than we do ourselves. And this is kind of the root of where your dissatisfaction with yourself or your life and a lot of dysfunctional behavior arises from. So how do you do that, really? Again, and I'll say it in these words as well. When we do things, we want to hear something. We want some kind of validation. We want some kind of approval. We want to hear, you're smart, you're beautiful, you're successful, I'm proud of you, you did a good job, all of that, right? So the simple thing would be just to say those things to yourself. But if you are not somebody that you can respect, then that doesn't mean anything. Those kind words don't mean anything. So how do you solve that problem then is by becoming somebody that you can respect. And I'm doing this process in real time, so I can tell you that the simplest way to do that is literally by showing up and doing the work, keeping the promises that you made to yourself. So I made this promise to myself that I'm going to show up for this challenge every day. So when I do, I become somebody that I can respect. I become somebody whose word means something. When I say I'm going to do it tomorrow, I know that I am going to do it tomorrow. The second thing is to do the best that I can and to just recognize that that was my best on that day. So for that to work, you do actually have to do your best. And I struggled with this for a very long time, where I would be very hard on myself. Like, let's take the example of the push-ups, right? Because I'm doing 5 push-ups now, and 5 push-ups, I'm doing them very badly. And it's not, I don't know if that is something that's going to help me achieve my dream body. I don't know if it's really going to push me towards my actual physical goals, but it is the best that I can do right now. So if I berate myself like, oh, it's just 5 push-ups, what is that even going to achieve? And you've done them so badly, then why am I going to show up tomorrow for those 5 push-ups if myself is going to speak to me so badly, right? What's the point? Why am I even going to try? And the truth is, I'm not going to get to 6 or 7 or 10 push-ups. I'm not going to be able to do those 5 push-ups with better form if I don't do these 5 mediocre ones first. So I have to recognize that this is my best and I have to speak to myself kindly. One story that I like to tell that really illustrates this point very well is a story from Buddhism. So the Buddha was traveling across the land and he was meeting devotees. And when he arrived at this one particular village, word had gone out that he was visiting, and a lot of people came to the temple to see him, and people brought him all kinds of gifts. And he would sit there, people would line up with their gifts, and he would just sit there as each person approached with their gifts, and he would smile at them and he would raise his right hand to accept the gift, and then somebody from his group would take that present and put it in a pile off to the side. And towards the end of the day, one very old lady came to the temple, and she approaches very slowly. You can see that she's very embarrassed, very ashamed to be there. But she's worked up her courage and she makes her way across and she approaches the Buddha. And from the folds of her sari, she pulls out a half-eaten pomegranate and she whispers, because she's so ashamed that the voice is stuck in her throat, and she says, "I am so sorry. I didn't know you were coming. If I'd known you were coming, I would have saved the whole pomegranate for you." And the Buddha looks at her and looks at this present, and then he gets up from his seat. He stands up, he goes towards her, and he receives this pomegranate with both of his hands. He takes it from her, he puts it in his lap, and he sits back down. Now, this upset a lot of the other people, especially the rich people who'd brought him silks and jewels and money and all kinds of gifts. They said, how is it that when we brought you all these riches, you just received them with one hand, you didn't even get up, you barely acknowledged us. And for her, you stood up and you took this half-eaten fruit with both of your hands. Why is that? And the Buddha says to them, I know you gave me treasures, riches, silks, jewels, diamonds, but you gave me a part of what you had. And she gave me everything she had. So if you apply that learning to your own life experience, look at your efforts as that half-eaten pomegranate. Yes, it's a half-eaten pomegranate. So it's just 5 push-ups, but it is everything you have. So you have to make sure it is everything you have. And then you approach yourself for that acceptance, that validation, that good job. I receive your gift and I receive it with love and gratitude. You have to know that you will receive your own efforts with that kind of gratitude. Because if the Buddha had said to the lady, what is this? You brought me just a half a pomegranate. Why is she going to come again? She's going to leave from there humiliated. This was already hard for her. If you speak to yourself unkindly, why are you going to try again? Why are you going to try anything new? Why are you going to go out of your comfort zone and make yourself uncomfortable if that's the way that your effort is going to be received? So you see that both of these parts need to work. It needs to be your best effort, and then that effort needs to be received with love and kindness and gratitude. When both of these pieces are in place, you become somebody whose word is enough for you. You become witness enough for you. You become self-contained. You have this love for yourself. You are not buffeted by other people's opinions of you. You become enough. And then that is a very good place from which to give love as well, because you are such a good witness. You are a voice of authority in your own life. And when you appreciate your friends, your loved ones, your colleagues, your partner, and you say, I see that you did a good job, they respect that. It means something because you are that voice of authority. Similarly, you should look for people who are rooted in themselves in that same way. Because at the end of the day, you cannot outsource that kind of self-worth to anybody. It has to come from within you. You have to be a one-of-one whole individual. And otherwise, what happens is when you approach other people for validation, one of two things is going to happen. If they are not a nice person, they will manipulate you. They will be able to take advantage of you because you've put your entire hand on the table, and they can see very clearly where your vulnerabilities are, and they will be able to use their words and their validation to manipulate you. They will withhold that affection or attention when they want something from you, or they will love bomb you. They will shower you with attention when they want to get something out of you. Or if they are nice people and are not going to play those games with you, they will eventually just get fed up of this because they're not your mother, they're not your therapist. This isn't their job. You can't babysit somebody's ego forever and ever. Sure, we have our ups and downs, we have certain moments, but a lot of the times, a lot of the things we vent to our friends about, or we ask them for validation, or we ask them to see us and witness us and tell us we've done a good job, and we come to them from a place of neediness, that's really not necessary. It erodes the friendship over time. It erodes the respect that you're going to have for yourself because you see yourself begging for approval. So this is the work that I did. This is the very important work that I did. I became aware of my own internal dialogue, and I made sure that it was very kind, it was very positive, it was loving, it was meaningful. And obviously I'm still doing the work, right? That's why I told you about the struggles I was having earlier on with this challenge. But I'm here showing up and doing the work because I want to still get better at this. In every area of my life, in all of the contexts in which this makes sense and I have to witness myself, I want to make sure that I trust and respect and approve of myself as I am being myself. That's it. We're at 15 minutes today. Yay me. Good job me. Congratulations to me. I hope you are having a wonderful day, and may this day kiss you full on the lips.